I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG. And we're back with more Aetherdrift spoilers. Starting our list off today is Sorcery back on track. Black and 4 for a sorcery that reads, return target creature or vehicle card from the graveyard to the battlefield. Then create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this token saddles mounts and cruise vehicle as though its power were 2 greater. So you get something back from the graveyard and a pilot to pilot your stuff. Next up we have Pace Setter Paragon. A red and 2 for a 2/3 human pilot with an exhaust ability of paying a red and 2 to put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and it gains double strike till end of turn. Well, that's gonna feel real good in the morning. So we got Clamorous Ironclad. Red and 3 for a 6/3 vehicle with menace. Crew 3, and you can cycle it for a red mana. Okay, so a pirate ship with a heavy crew cost. Well, not so heavy, but a decent crew cost. But 4 mana for a 6/3 with menace? I can deal with a crew cost of 3 for that. Hoo-ha. We got Gilded Goda, which is a red and 1 for a 2/2 horse mount. When this creature attacks when saddled, create a treasure token. You can saddle it for 1. Because who doesn't need more treasures? Hoo-ha. We have Haunt the Network. So for a blue, black, and 3, you get a source that reads, choose target opponent. Create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. Then the chosen player loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Ooh, that sounds interesting. So you're getting a minimum of target player losing 2 life and gaining 2 life if just by putting out the little artifact this thing puts out. But if you're playing an artifact heavy deck, you're gonna do some stuff here for 5 mana. Hoo-ha. We have Embalmed Ascendant, which is a white and black and 1 for a 1/2 zombie with start your engines, and when it enters, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. When it gets to max speed, whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay. Next up we have Dredger's Insight. So, a green and 1 for an enchantment that reads, whenever 1 or more artifact and or creature cards leave your graveyard, you gain a life. When this enchantment enters, mill 4 cards. You may put an artifact, creature, or a land card from among the milled cards into your hand. Okay, so some graveyard recursion strategy. The only thing I have against this card, because they called it Dredger's Insight, it would have been nice to maybe fit in the dredge keyword into this a bit, but you know, with what it does, it's close enough. Next up, we have Haunted Hell Ride. So it's a blue, black, and 1 for a 3/3 artifact vehicle. Whenever you attack, target creature gets +1/+0, gains death touch till end of turn, and untap it. And you can crew it for 1. Not bad. 3/3 for 3 and a crew 1 cost. And you get to give a target creature a +1/+0 and death touch when it attacks. That's fair. Next up, we have Ranger's Refueler. A blue and 1 for a 3/3 vehicle. Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, draw a card. Ooh, more card draw. And it has an exhaust ability of 4 generic. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature and put a +1/+1 counter on it. And crew it for 2. Okay. It's decent. Card draws when you activate exhaust abilities, and you can pay 4 to make it a 4/4 artifact creature for a turn. And a crew cost of 2 isn't bad. Not unhappy. Next up, we have Roadside Assistance, another name that was mentioned in the Rosewater spoilers. So a white and 2 for an enchantment aura, enchant creature or vehicle. When this aura enters, create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this token saddles, mounts, and crews vehicle as though its power were 2 greater. Enchanted permanent gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. Okay, so you create a pilot and have and get a boost to your whatever you've enchanted. That's really fair for 3 mana. Hoo-ha. Next up, we have Reckless Velocitor. A red and 3 for a 3/3 Minotaur pilot. Whenever this creature saddles a mount or crews a vehicle during your main phase, that mount or vehicle gains +2/+0, gains trample till end of turn. Sounds like a very Minotaur thing to do. We have Aether Jacket, 3 generic for a 2/1 artifact creature Thopter with flying and vigilance. Spend 2 generic, tap it and sacrifice it to destroy another target artifact, activate only as a sorcery. Okay, so this is something to take out other vehicles or other artifacts. Okay, we can live with that. We have Slick Imitator, a blue and 1 for a 1/3 ooze. And I think this is one of the first times we've seen a blue ooze. Yeah, start your engines. When it has max speed, you can pay a generic and sacrifice this creature to copy target spell you control. May choose new targets for the copy. Interesting. We have Transit Mage. Oh no. Now, for those of you that are fans of sci-fi like me, this guy, he has all the vibes of the punk rocker on the bus in Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. When they're on the bus in San Francisco going to the Whale Institute, this guy has all that vibes. And I think that's kind of what they were going for there. Because he was on a transit bus. So a blue and 2 for a 2/2 human wizard. When this creature enters, you may search your library for an artifact card. Mana value 4 or 5. Reveal it, put it to your hand, and shuffle. Remember, you can take the wheel if you want, but I choose the music. Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting from that. That's a funny little nod to that guy. Gas Guzzler, another name that was mentioned in the Rosewater spoilers. A black mana for a 2/1 vampire rogue with starter engines and it enters tapped. When it has max speed, you can pay a black and sacrifice another creature or vehicle to draw a card. We have Risen Necro Regent, kind of a beefy black and 4 for a 5/4 zombie cat knight. Start your engines, and when it has max speed, beginning of your end step, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Okay, takes a bit to pay off, but once it does, you get a zombie at the end of your turn. It's kind of an card. We have Circulating Ooze, a green and 3 for a 2/2 ooze. So when it enters the battlefield, you mill 2 cards, then put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. For each card in your graveyard, there's an artifact or creature. Thing has a face on it. It's kind of gives you this oozy Cars type vibe to it. More oozy stuff, because we have lots of ooze stuff in got some ooze stuff going on in this set. We have Gas Tall Raider, black and 2 for a 2/1 vampire rogue. This creature enters, target opponent reveals their hand, and you choose an instant or sorcery card from it, and that player discards that card. When it has max speed, this creature gets +1/+1 and has menace. We have Racer's Scoreboard. 4 generic for an artifact that has start your engines. And when it enters, you draw 2 cards and then discard a card. And when it has max speed, spells you cost 1 generic less to cast. Interesting. We have Veteran Beast Rider. A green, white, and 1 for a 3/4 human knight. Beginning your end step, untap each creature you control. And for a green, a white, and 2, creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn. Its ability is a little bit pricey, but you get to untap, just its normal static. You get to untap your creatures at the beginning of your end step. So it's kind of like giving them vigilance without giving them vigilance. And you can untap all your mana dorks too, so you can have them to use on your opponent's turn. So I'm not unhappy with this, and you can do stuff with that. So we got Thundering Broodwagon. 2 black, 2 green, and 2 generic for a 6/5 vehicle with menace and reach. When it enters, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value 4 or less. Ew. Crew for 3 ends as a cycling for 2 generic. Kind of cool. It's 6 mana for a 6/5, but you get the menace and reach, and you get the ETB of destroying a non-land permanent opponent controls for that has a mana value of 4 or less. So hoo-ha! I'm not unhappy with that. Some removal and some. It's got some pretty good abilities for what you're paying for it. Next up, we have River Churn Monument. A blue and 1 for an artifact that reads, pay generic and any number of target players each mill 2 cards. Has an exhaust ability of 2 blue and 2, and tap it any number of target players. Each mill cards equal to the number of cards in their Ew. Ew. Yeah. I'm not the biggest of mill fans, but that's just nasty. And the whole picture looks like a frog as well, regurgitating. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Next up, we have Voyage Home. A beefy blue, white, blue, and 5. Source that reads, has affinity for artifacts. You draw 3 cards and gain 3 life. It's beefy, but it does have that affinity for artifacts. And in this set, artifacts are a big thing. We have Dune Drifter. So, a white, a black, and X for a 3/3 vehicle. When it enters, return target artifact or creature cards with mana value X or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Crew it for 2. Okay, well, if you're bringing stuff back straight to the battlefield, I'm not going to be unhappy with paying, X mana because I'm bringing that back to the right back to the battlefield. Hoo ha. So Riptide Gearhulk is 2 white, 2 blue, and 1 for a 2/5 artifact creature construct with double strike and prowess. Ooh. This creature enters for each opponent. Put up the one target non-land permanent that player controls into its owner's library third from the top. Okay, so you get a relocation effect and double strike prowess. Not unhappy. Well, we're at 21 minutes, and we're going to say hoo-ha. We'll see you on the next video.